ladies and gentlemen. Well, here we are today in the ML500 ghetto camping rig, whatever. So today was a little warmer than it has been, to the point where it was a little uncomfortable in the sun without the AC on. Now, something I didn't catch when I bought this car, which I always check, is to make sure the air conditioning does work. However, me being a BMW guy, I've just never ran into an old BMW that didn't have ice cold AC, and I just sort of assumed it was the same for Mercedes, and it was snowing when I bought it. So, lesson learned. I was kind of hoping that it was going to be something simple, but I didn't have high expectations. It is an almost 20-year-old car. The rest of my luck has been going pretty terrible, so I figured it was just par for the course. So I've been doing some research, and apparently on these you can reset the control unit by holding a couple buttons down for 10 seconds, whatever, and then it blinks through a series and it's supposed to reset it. So I did that, and I also got a recharge kit, which was AC Pro. It comes with a nice gauge already on top of it. Makes it pretty much idiot proof. I followed down to where the low pressure inlet, I guess, was. Connected my thing and read the gauges. Now, here's something that was a little interesting: is it read really, really high, like it was overcharged or in the red, which is kind of would indicate don't charge it anymore. You have a problem or whatever, But I had a hunch. A lot of these nicer cars, higher end cars, have basically a protection device, so if the air conditioning system gets too low, it'll stop the compressor from engaging, preventing damage, theoretically. So what I did is I went ahead and I just went ahead and just charged it anyway and kept turning it on and off, trying to engage or disengage the compressor. And after a few tries, I started to know that it was actually acting right, and I was onto something, apparently. And sure enough, I was able to put most of the can in there. I probably could go ahead and throw the rest of it in, but it's already ice cold, and it was reading well in the gauge. And that was a huge relief, because I do not want to spend the summer camping in this car with no AC. That would suck. So that's kind of good. I talked about going out of town and going on a hike or a camping trip tomorrow. I think I'm going to go ahead and wait till the early part of next week, because it won't be the weekend, and then I can have the place to myself more or less, and I don't have a job, so why not? So that's kind of more than I think the angle I'm going for. I was rewatching some of my videos. I realized I'm going to have to practice my dialectic and smooth delivery of speaking, because you're kind of second guessing yourself and you're talking to yourself. So it's just going to take some practice, but I think I did pretty well. I can see a lot of the emotion behind, the stories that I'm going through, and I really want to try to not beat down on the negative side, but man, I've really been run through the ringer, and some of the stuff I'm experiencing right now has been crushing, like heart crushing. Like, just take my little heart and just pulverize it into a billion little pieces of dust and just blow it away, because that's where I've been, I guess maybe it's kind of like almost like a midlife crisis that I'm having, although I don't really consider myself old at all. Like, I really shocks me when I have to say it out loud that I'm 39 years old. I'm like, because I didn't have kids, I didn't get married, I didn't settle down. Really, I've never stopped being a kid, so maybe that's a problem in itself, but I don't know, it is what it is. I'm okay with it. Breakups are tough. I especially am someone who is so hard to open up, and drop the walls completely, because I've been hurt so many times in my life, and not even necessarily in relationships.